So I want to get a better human link with it. So the first question I wanted to ask is how this thing came to be, how MADADGAAR came to be.
So you are exactly talking about MADADGAAR, not LHR.
Yeah, MADADGAAR.
Dekho, basically what happened that in my student days, I was a student leader and I was opposing martial law. So we were having a lot of struggle, and then at the time of Ziaul Haq, he arrested me 4 times. I went to prison 4 times, faced twice military trial, and we were on the forefront against martial law for the democracy and democratic rights. And finally, when I became a lawyer, so then we took out a procession for rule of law and for independence of judiciary. So then again I faced military trial along with other lawyers, very eminent lawyers. We were all together in the prison. So I really thought in the prison that how I can help prisoners, because my first focus was prisoners, and I was looking them in a very miserable condition. Their families were coming to meet the prisoners, so they were in very bad shape. So my commitment was for the prisoners to help them, to get them out. And finally I decided that being lawyer, when I become a good lawyer, so then I will start something for them. So उस वजह से then I start preparing myself. So I did not do it in a sense that abruptly you start something which you like and then you jump on. So I'm not that kind of a person. So what I did, that before establishing LHRLA, I started taking up cases. I took a case which was very popular internationally. It was a case of stoning to death case. The couple got stoned to death sentence, and then I took up the appeal and we went to a court and they were released. And that was a martial law time when we were opposing the Hudud ordinance, the so-called Islamic law, and they were sentenced under that law. So it came in the, I think, international media, CNN, BBC, you name any country where this was reported. So then I did contact with Abdul Sattar Idi, and I started going to talk to him on different issues, and he liked the ideas and he supported me, and then we established Lawyers for Human Rights and Legal Aid, LHRLA, with his financial support, initial financial support. And then we continued our work providing legal aid to the prisoners, and we were having a project inside the women prison for 7 years. We had a great project. A lot of people copied that, bits and pieces, not fully. That project still I feel that is applicable if we want to do that. So, and then we printed a lot of awareness material for women prisoners. The frustration which I was having, that the people we were helping in the cases of violence against women or prisoners, when they were coming out from the prison, women mostly, or traffic victims, so they were again going to the criminal environment, because there was no support for them to rehabilitate them, how to support themselves. So this was something which was clicking me, that they were asking several things and we were saying we can only provide legal aid, being lawyer. Yeah. So I was thinking of do something in that way. So then the Swiss government, they invited me along with other 3 people, in which the Chief Justice of Pakistan, recent Chief Justice of Pakistan, Justice Saqib Nisar, he was a federal law secretary, so he was also part of the delegation. We went to Switzerland. We had we visited jails and different places, and then the Swiss Development Corporation is a funding agency in Switzerland. So the head of the SDC asked me that, what is your plan, future plan? Because I was very, I'm always active and speaking out with my mind. So he said, what do you want to do? I said, I really want that in my country there should be one phone where people should call and get help. And they should be supported. So they should not be bothered then. So we should try to guide them in a way. So then I came back, and then I came to know later that they asked UNICEF to support my organization. And UNICEF supported us for MADADGAAR, because my dream was that we should have a phone where people can get help.
And hence the number 193.
Yeah. So this helpline started initially. We were having a lot of problems, but UNICEF supported us for almost 11 years. Although UNICEF don't go into that long partnership with civil society, but they were supposed to do because of the support which we got from SDC. So during that time, we were struggling that we should have a unified code number, short code. So people should remember number. They should not necessarily remember ZIA1 or LHRLA or MADADGAAR or any person. So they should remember one unified code, short code, which they can call and then get help. So that was the dream which we started developing in 2000, and in 2001 we have launched MADADGAAR. So MADADGAAR, before launching, we wanted to have a name, a local name. We did not want to have an English name, because from the day one we are a local support. Whatever later international support came in, but I always say that we don't consider us just NGO. You should consider us, we are an activist, and we should be remain as an activist. So NGO sometimes is having a good name and bad name, but we wanted to be a activist organization for the work which we focusing on violence against women and children, because that was very near to my ideology, which I thought that the downtrodden people who are really need our help, so they should be coming up, and we should be working against the discriminatory laws, the discrimination in the society, behavior, overall injustices. We should also try to create something which is providing us access to justice. So these are all issues which come up, and then we were also tired of having 1-year project funding, 2-year project funding, 3-year project funding, and different issues. We are the pioneering organization on the issue of trafficking in women and children, which we have raised first time in Pakistan and in even South Asia. Because I held a press conference in Dhaka National Press Club, I had meetings in Kathmandu and different places. So the goal was that now we should not going into the small projects, but under one umbrella, we should create such a situation where everybody can get help. So now the MADADGAAR is dealing with child labor, child marriage, domestic violence, trafficking, kidnapping, honor killing, you name any. People are having a small projects on each themes. Then child sexual abuse, women abuse, harassment, all these are dealt by MADADGAAR now. And this is the dream which I really carry with me to be. Initially we were in Karachi, and then in 2011 with the support of Plan International, we had a Girl Power program, which we were having a partnership with even Open University, Islamabad Open University, and several other organizations. And we went to other cities, like all the 4 capitals. Karachi, Lahore, Peshawar, Quetta. So we were having sub-offices there, and we were helping people as a national organization. Still, although because of the funding we are shrinked, came back from Lahore, Peshawar and Quetta, but it was not just money, but we thought that we should have a centralized helpline where all the calls from all the country, they can come here. But my dream is that it should be in every district. Every district should have this, so people who call, if the victim of violence comes in, so she should get shelter, she should get medical aid, police aid, legal aid, you name anything, maybe the job or maybe financial support which organizations are doing, so we can give them all these kind of support, so they should not be looking at somewhere else. So this is the dream which I'm carrying with me, and now with all the people who are working with me, young people and even very senior people, so we got tremendous support because media is supporting us so much, and people are like giving us so much respect because of this. You just name anybody, so they will say yes, we know. So this is the brand which we have registered, and we believe that scientific approach is important for every work whatever we do, and also using technology for the empowerment of women and children, and also resolving their issues. So these are the goals which we are carrying on, and apart from that, I think we are part of the international arena. That in 2003, the MADADGAAR was developed in 2001. In 2003, because I was declared previously as Ashoka Fellow. Ashoka Fellowship is very popular. I will suggest all of you that who are social entrepreneurs, so they must search Ashoka Fellow. Ashoka Fellowship, they have an office in Washington, and when they decide you to be to declare you as a social entrepreneur, so they support you. So they declared me as a social entrepreneur. So then I had a meeting with some of my social entrepreneurs in India, in Thailand, and then we decided to form some group. And then one of the Ashoka Fellow, Janu Bilomoria, she was from India. She developed Childline India at that time. So she was running Childline India with the support of Tata Institute. Tata is a multinational company. So she was there and she established that, and then the Indian government adopted that Childline, and now they are working together, and they are in 160 districts in India. So she got married to a person in Holland, and she went to Holland and she started an international organization, and she also invited me, and we were together in that. 45 helplines from all over the world, we were there. We established an organization called Child Helpline International in 2003, and when we established that, so then we started working, not only expanding the child lines or helplines within the country, but also looking at that the countries which are not having helplines, so we should be developed. So the CHI started with our help, all the helplines together. We started developing helplines, and now we are in 188 helplines together in 170 plus countries. 170 plus countries. So you can imagine the way the network which we are having. If I say that some Pakistani child or woman is in trouble in Guatemala, Chile, or you name any country, Africa, or any continent, so the helpline MADADGAAR can contact them because they are all partners to us, and we meet every 2 years somewhere in the world. Every 2 years, so we meet, and then we have a Asia Pacific group, which I twice led. The whole Asia Pacific, and we started developing helplines in Central Asia, which was new. So I worked with Central Asia a lot, and they developed helplines. So this is the way how we are developing other helplines, twinning helplines together to learn more. Then when we meet, so we know from who is doing what. So we learn from others, and some are coming to us, like Nepal helpline, Indonesian helpline came to Pakistan for learning visits. So this is the way how we twin each other, and MADADGAAR is growing. The only frustration which I am having, that in the world now, this kind of a work which we are doing is being recognized by the governments. But here, the governments are not recognizing our work. What in the other countries they are doing, if there is established something system which we have developed, which is going on very well and helping people, so they do public-private partnership, and they work with civil society, and then they grow. Like I told you that Indian government adopted Childline India, and they are supporting them, and the NGO is working, and they are supporting financially. They have a code of conduct, how to deal with things within the government and outside the government. So I'm really thinking of that there should be something. Although a small support came from the government in a way that we were advocating that we need a short code, and we got the short code in 2011. Two federal secretaries of the Human Rights Ministry, they visited our helpline and they said, wow, we were just thinking that we need to have this kind, and we promised several times in international meetings that we will be developing this, but we could not do that. So now you are running, so we will certainly help you to get a short code. So short code we got in 2011, 1098. And why 1098? 1098 is a regional number, because we have another organization, a small organization of 8 countries. Because SARC is having, South Asia, SARC is having 8 countries: Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, Maldives and Sri Lanka. So all of us, all the 8 helplines, we came together, met in Sri Lanka and then Colombo, and then we decided that we are going to have one number. So India is now got 1098 all over India. We got 1098. Bangladesh is having 1098. Nepal is having 1098. The other countries' helplines were having already a short code, so they are now planning to change.
Yeah.
So this is something which came out to support us, but otherwise we are still looking at that our efforts can be multiplied. It should be replicated. It should not be duplicated. But the governments are constantly duplicating all these things, and they're like spoiling the money, but nobody understands.
Yeah.
So this is the movement which we are having, and we work with young people, young women, young men, and also for children. So our helpline is 24/7, and we try to help them with our full support.